All right, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you tonight with some fight news. So Bellator has announced one of their rare strawweight bouts for Bellator number 252, going down next week on November 12th in Uncasville, Connecticut, Mohegan Sun, between Keri Melendez and Emilee King. King, you might remember, stopped Ava Knight earlier this year in what many people thought was going to be, an easy win for Knight. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats here. And, oh, by the way, Keri Melendez, of course, is the wife of, former UFC fighter, former Strikeforce champ, and Pride fighter, Gilbert Melendez. So let's take a look at the stats here. Melendez is coming in undefeated at 4-0. King coming in at 4-3. Now Melendez coming in off of a decision win over Mandy Polk a year ago. King, like I mentioned earlier, coming in off of that submission win over Ava Knight earlier this year. Melendez is the elder fighter, 36 years to 27. And she's going to have a height advantage. She's 5 feet 6 inches, 168 centimeters tall, to King's 5 feet 4 inches, 163 centimeters tall. Melendez is also going to have a slight reach advantage, 67.5 inches, 171 centimeters, to King's 65.5 inches, 166 centimeters tall. So, after Emilee King beat Ava Knight earlier this year, who the Bellator was really wanting to push, and then she announced about a month and a half, 2 months ago that, she had some fight announcement coming up. I was thinking, they're going to give her someone really difficult for her. And I think that's what they're trying to do now. Because, if fight promoters are anything, it is petty. And when you beat a fighter that they're trying to push, if they don't end up pushing you, they're either going to do one of two things. They're either going to push you in that stead, or they're going to give you a huge step up in competition, a really tough fight to punish you. Because, like I said, fight promoters are petty. And Bellator is not above some petty matchmaking here. Now, Melendez is going to have a huge striking advantage against King. King is one of these fighters where she's kind of well-rounded, but she doesn't, I haven't seen her excel in any particular field of MMA. So while she does okay everywhere, she's not great anywhere. Whereas Melendez, on the other hand, she is a phenomenal kickboxer, and she's pretty savvy on the ground too, having trained with her husband, Gilbert, for years now. Of course, Melendez is not exactly the spring chicken, 36 years old. Not that 36 is old, I ought to know. But King does have youth on her side, does have, the advantage of, you start getting up into your late 30s, mid to late 30s. You wake up, after a hard day of training, go to sleep, wake up the next day, you're not going to recover as fast as someone who's only in mid to late 20s. It's just a true thing about life. So while Melendez does have some skills advantages against Emilee King, there's also some X factors going into this fight, and I think it'll be an interesting one. Right now, though, I'm going to favor Keri Melendez, which I favored Ava Knight against Emilee King, if I remember correctly. But, Emilee King proved me wrong that last time against Ava Knight, so maybe she'll prove me wrong again here as well. Okay, so those are my thoughts on this matchup. Now, this goes down next week on Thursday, November 12th. Bellator, they're going kind of old school Pride style with these matchup announcements, waiting until like the last minute, which I kind of understand because with COVID-19, you have fighters dropping out as late as a day or so before the fight. So I understand why they're hesitating to announce fights early. On the same time, though, it also kind of doesn't allow any hype to build up for particular fight. So it has its ups and downs. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this fight in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.